The cafeteria was buzzing with chatter, laughter, and the clatter of trays when it happened. In the middle of the crowd, surrounded by hundreds of students, a girl named Emily sat quietly at a corner table. She was 15 years old, shy, and often overlooked by her peers. She liked to keep her head down, eat quickly, and escape before the chaos of the room swallowed her. But that day, she couldn't disappear. That day, everything changed. Emily had never been the popular one. She didn't wear trendy clothes or pile on makeup like the other girls. Her hair was simple, her clothes plain, and she walked the halls like a shadow. But to some, that made her an easy target. The bullies knew she wouldn't fight back, wouldn't scream, wouldn't tell. And so, they circled her like vultures, waiting for a moment to pounce. As she sat at her table, tray half finished, she felt the sudden sting. A sharp, humiliating snap. One of the boys had yanked her bra strap from behind, laughing with his friends as if it were a game. The sound of the elastic hitting her skin was drowned by their cruel laughter. Her cheeks burned red, not from pain, but from shame. The cafeteria seemed to freeze. She felt hundreds of invisible eyes staring, though most of them quickly turned away, pretending not to see. That was the worst part, not just the bullies, but the silence of everyone else. Emily's hands trembled as she adjusted her strap, desperately trying to hold back tears. The bullies leaned closer, taunting her, whispering ugly words. But she didn't speak. She just sat frozen, trapped in humiliation. To them, it was harmless fun. To her, it was a scar. What the bullies didn't know was that the cafeteria had cameras. Every table, every corner, watched silently, recording everything. And while Emily walked away with her head down, the footage captured the truth she couldn't speak. Emily went home that day and cried. Her parents noticed her swollen eyes, the way she flinched when her father touched her shoulder. At first, she said nothing. Shame is a heavy chain, and it silenced her. But her mother held her, whispering that no one had the right to touch her body without consent. Slowly, Emily confessed what happened. Her parents, furious and heartbroken, decided they wouldn't let it go. The next morning, Emily's father went to the school. The principal listened, but there was hesitation in her voice. Schools often protect their reputation more than their students. Boys will be boys, she murmured, a phrase that cut like a knife. But Emily's father wasn't backing down. He demanded the cafeteria footage. Reluctantly, the principal agreed. When they watched the video, there was no denying it. Clear as day, the boys yanked Emily's bra strap, laughing as she shrank in her seat. The principal's excuses evaporated. Emily's parents took the footage straight to the police. The investigation was swift. The bullies had crossed a line that wasn't just schoolyard fun. It was harassment. It was assault. And it was a crime. The cafeteria footage became evidence, and within weeks, the boys faced charges. Their smirks disappeared the moment they sat in a courtroom, facing the weight of their actions. They were no longer untouchable. They were accountable. For Emily, the journey was not easy. Even after the boys were punished, the whispers at school didn't stop. Some students called her a snitch. Others avoided her out of fear. But there were also those who reached out, quiet voices of support, hands that patted her shoulder, classmates who began to see her not as invisible, but as brave. Emily struggled with her own mind. Night after night, she replayed the moment in her head. The snap. The laughter. The shame. Trauma doesn't vanish overnight. But with therapy, with her parents' love, and with the knowledge that she had stood up not just for herself, but for others like her, she began to heal. One day, months later, Emily stood on a small stage in her school auditorium. She had been invited to speak about her experience. Her voice trembled at first, but then grew steady. She told her classmates that silence protects the bully, not the victim. She told them that respect is not optional, it's necessary. And she told them that courage doesn't mean you're not afraid, it means you speak even when your voice shakes. The audience was silent, but it was not the silence of apathy. It was the silence of listening. Many students left that room changed, carrying her words like a mirror. Some even came up to her after, apologizing for the times they had stood by and watched cruelty unfold. Emily's story spread beyond her school. The footage, the court case, the bravery of a girl who refused to be broken, it made headlines. Parents across the community talked to their children about respect, about boundaries, about standing up. Emily became a symbol, not of victimhood, but of strength. She wasn't invisible anymore. She was a survivor. And she was more powerful than those who tried to tear her down. To this day, Emily carries a simple message: kindness is not weakness. Speaking up is not betrayal. And silence only feeds cruelty. She chose not to remain silent, and in doing so, she protected not only herself, but countless others who would have suffered the same fate. Final words for video ending: call to action. If this story touched your heart, I want to hear from you. Comment below and share your thoughts, because your voice matters, just like Emily's did. And if you believe in spreading kindness and standing against cruelty, don't forget to subscribe to Be Kind Always. Together, we can make this world a little brighter, one story at a time.